Hello, my name is Paul. Welcome back to my channel. I love recommending movies, and today I'm going to be recommending movies for very specific situations because it's fun. I've asked for some situations where you would need a movie, and I got some really interesting replies, and it's just going to be fun. So let's get right into it. I do not want to waste time. I have a list here on my phone, and the first situation is a first date. What movie do you want to watch on a first date? And I feel like that's very interesting because, well, you want something that's kind of like thought-provoking, maybe a little bit scary, but not too complex, because you don't want to watch the movie and be like extremely confused or have an ending that doesn't make sense, because obviously, as I said in the last video, that it frustrates people. And I feel like it needs to be a movie that kind of like sparks a conversation, something you can talk about for a little while. And I have three movies here that I feel like are just absolutely perfect for that. The first one is It Follows. The sequel is coming out next year. It's just a perfect movie. It's fun to watch, and I feel like you can have like a bit of a talk after it. Then we have Punch Drunk Love, because that movie is just absolutely great in so many ways, and I feel like why would you not want to watch it on the first date? And then Palm Springs, because Palm Springs, I don't even remember which one it is, but this movie that's up here, it's just a really fun movie, and I feel like you could also have a conversation as to what you would do in that situation. And I feel like those movies are not too like deep, but they're also really fun, and movies that you can have like a chat about. And it's just, I feel like those are perfect movies for a first date. But if you're feeling a little bit crazy, if you really want to test the waters of this potential relationship, you can watch Antichrist by Lars von Trier. And if your relationship blossoms after that, then I applaud you. Yeah, if you're feeling a bit crazy, a little bit freaky, watch Antichrist by Lars von Trier on a first date, and let me know how that goes, because I would be very curious. But those three movies would be great for a first date, and if anybody ends up watching those movies on a first date, please let me know, because I feel like I want to know. Then we have You're Sad, It's Raining, and You Want to Cry. I know the feeling. Sometimes it's just, you just feel emotional and you want to watch something that's going to make you cry. Sometimes making yourself cry is just going to alleviate that pain. And the first movie I have is Perfect Days. That movie made me so emotional, and it's just about somebody living a realistic life, and maybe the fact that you're watching somebody live something realistic is very cathartic and therapeutic to watch on the screen, because you can share those experiences and relate to them. And it's a very minimalistic movie, and I feel like it works for some people. It does not work for others, but it worked for me, and I love that movie so much. Then we have About Time. If you know, you know. And then if you want something even more depressing, if you want to feel numb, not just sad, if you literally want to feel numb, we have Dancer in the Dark, Grave of Fireflies, if you know, Blue Jay, and then the most depressing movie I think I've genuinely ever watched. This movie stuck with me for a very long time. It made me feel extremely numb. This movie hurt, and I still think about it to this day, and that's Lilia Forever. This movie, I genuinely mean this. This movie will make you feel numb in so many ways, and you will cry, but it's also one of those movies that will just, yeah, you might need therapy after. So that's your warning. So if you're going to go into it and you watch it, please let me know. But it is an incredible movie. Don't get me wrong, but I just love movies like that. But if you want to feel numb and cry and it's raining and blah, 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 maybe that's a perfect movie. But if you want something more light, I feel like just go with Perfect Days. Yeah, it's better. You've had too much coffee and you are tweaking. I know that feeling, and you need something that has a lot of energy. You need something that matches your anxiety levels, because whenever I have a lot of coffee, I feel incredibly anxious, and I feel like the world is going to explode and my head is going to explode. So I have three movies that are going to match that experience. We have Shiva Baby. If you know, you know. Again, I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but Shiva Baby is an anxiety-inducing movie in every way. It's like 70 minutes long, and it's almost a horror movie because of how anxiety-inducing it is. Then we have Climax and Good Time. Those are two movies that are just going to get your heart pumping and are going to match the energy that you are on, the energy levels that you are on. But I also don't know if that's a good thing. If you're feeling really like, and you're going to be watching a movie that makes you feel even more, if that's going to be good for you. But that's what I would do whenever I'm really like caffeinated and I've had a lot of caffeine in my body. I want to watch something that's going to make me feel really like ooh, and those are the movies that I would pick and that I recommend for you to watch, because they are great in so many ways. I want to be extremely frustrated by a movie. Oh, I know straight away. Loveless. It is a Russian movie about a family, about a husband and wife that are going through a divorce, and they neglect their child, and their child decides to run away because he's had too much. It is a Russian movie. It is in every way depressing, but what is extremely frustrating is the ending. And number two, the thing that's just so frustrating is the neglect that they have towards a child, and they're so focused on their own lives that they Just neglect this child and he runs away, and then they pretend to care. But even if they're pretending to, there's just so many complex emotions. And if you love movies that Fincher makes, then you're going to absolutely love this movie, because it is so frustrating and it's just captured so well, and the director just knows how to craft a perfect movie. But at the same time, if you don't fancy watching that, you can watch Funny Games. And yeah, Funny Games is frustrating because of the characters of the people that break into the home. They don't even really break in, that take over. I would watch the original because it's in French. I believe it's in French. But if you don't want to watch a French movie, I believe there's an English version, which is also great and directed by the same director. So those movies are frustrating for different reasons, but are both absolutely incredible movies. So, first time attending a party. I don't really know what this means. Is it kind of like a movie that you would watch at a party, or like you're hosting a party and you have a lot of friends over? For that, I feel like you need something lighthearted, something that is fun. So I have Booksmart, Dazed and Confused, Election, Sideways, Bottoms, and all of the High School Musical movies, because if you're feeling a little bit nostalgic and you want to have a little sing-along, you stick on High School Musical 1, 2, 3, and I bet you when the night ends, you're going to be feeling really good, because that's how I feel whenever I listen to the High School Musical 3 soundtrack and listen to Scream over and over and over and over and over again, because that movie, the song, it's just a masterpiece. But I feel like I could make an entire video talking about High School Musical. Hey, maybe that's a good idea. But anyway, those are movies that also capture the fact that if you're having a party, I'm kind of relating it to my age, you're feeling like a little bit lost in life, you're not really sure what to do, and in every way they're just incredible. So I recommend those movies for a party. But if I misread the question, if I didn't understand the question, I am sorry. Okay, so you're moving into a new place. Ooh, that is interesting. You need to like christen the place, you need to bless it with a good movie, because you're always going to remember this very first movie that you're going to watch in your new place. I feel like that's going to stick with you forever. And the movie that I'm going to recommend is Fincher's Panic Room, because one, you have a family that have moved into a new house. Number two, I watched it when I moved into a new place with my family before. And number three, it's just an incredible movie. As I said earlier, Fincher knows how to just be so precise and make such a like sharp movie and such an anxiety inducing movie. And it's just, okay, imagine this, right? You're at home, you're in your new place, you've ordered like a takeaway, it's kind of dark, and you stick on Panic Room. Oh, it's so good. Basically, Panic Room is about a family that have moved into a house, and then somebody tries to break in, and they go into a panic room and they're not really sure what to do because the burglars are trying to get in, blah blah blah. You know, just trust Fincher. I feel like that's just a rule we should all live by. Just trust his movies. And this is one of those movies that has stuck with me forever, because I remember watching it when I was like quite young. We moved into a new place and everything makes sense because the family in the movie move in, I moved in, I remember, and it's just, it's such a great movie. So Panic Room is what I would recommend, because it's just great. But also, if you want something a little bit more kind of like fun, if you're maybe having some friends over while you're moving in, you could watch Clue from 1985, because it's great. Or Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, because those movies are incredible. So what do you watch during a breakup? Oh, I've made an entire video about this, and I recommend you watch that video, because I talk about what movies you should watch when you're heartbroken. But for me, I feel like watching something depressing, something that you can confront this sadness with, is what works. So for me, I would watch Columbus, Chungking Express, Before Sunrise, because oh my god, Before Sunrise breaks me every single time. But I would recommend just watch my video where I talk about this. I basically give you a little bit of a roadmap as to how to overcome heartbreak, because I feel like ignoring it is not the best thing to do. So if you watch somebody on the screen getting heartbroken or share the same emotions, maybe you're just going to be able to empathize with them, and it might make you feel better because you're not going to feel so alone. Those movies are heartbreaking, those movies are sad, so that is your warning. But I promise you, after you watch it and you cry out your feelings, you'll feel a bit better. And that's kind of like my motto in life. I don't know if that's a good motto to have, but you know what I mean. Okay, so you need a good laugh. I am very weird with comedies, because I feel like I'm very like difficult to please when it comes to comedies, because I just watch things and I'm like, and maybe that's because I watch a lot of these comedies alone, and that's not like the best way to watch a comedy movie. But I have 3 comedy movies here that I feel like really work for me, and every time I watch them, rewatch them, whatever, I just have a great time with them because I love them. They're great. So the 3 movies are Popstar, Birdcage, and we have The Nice Guys, because in every way, I don't know, there's just something about all of those movies. Maybe in Popstar, the fact that it's so self-aware, or the fact that in Birdcage we have Robin Williams, who's just an incredible performer, or the relationships in Nice Guys. I feel like everything just kind of works in those movies, and I remember watching them laughing, but also at the same time walking away with a warm heart, because it just made me feel really good. And you know when you can get that balance right in a comedy movie, that it's not just like cheap, stupid humor, but at the same time you walk away and you feel like, oh, that was like a really good movie, and it like impacts you and stays with you. Then you know those movies were good, and they're good they're good comedy movies, and those movies did that for me, and I really, really love them. So I recommend those 3 movies for you. So I would go watch them. Go watch them now. Watch all 3. So the last situation is I'm looking for a fun horror movie. Oh, I love this so much, because I feel like finding that balance is either like a horror movie is just awful, it just sucks in every single way, and it's just painful to watch, or you have a very serious movie that like deals with grief and blah blah blah, which is fine. But I feel like whenever you get that balance right, when you have like a fun horror movie, then it's just, oh, especially whenever you're in the mood. Love that so much. So we have Bodies. Megan, Malignant, because it is absolutely nuts. It is a crazy movie, but it's really fun. We have Terrifier, if you love slashers. I have watched and made videos about Terrifier for a long time. They are fun movies, but they are very gory. If you want something disgusting, Terrifier 1 and 2, they are disgusting, but they are in every way so fun. We have Spree, which I didn't really expect, like a social media, I'm famous and somebody's following me, blah, blah, blah. I didn't expect that to really work, but I remember watching it on the bus when I was going somewhere, and I was like, whoa, why is this like unexpectedly so good? Then we have Trap. Trap's out in the cinema right now. Listen, I have a few issues with Trap, and I'm not going to get into them, but I feel like if you notice issues in Trap and you can just let them go, you're going to have a really good time with the movie, because that's just a really fun, it's not really a horror movie, it's more of a thriller, but let's just slide it in here, because why not? Let's just be generous to Trap. Let's just be generous, because it's fun. It's really fun if you can just see past the issues. Those are some fun horror movies that I recommend for you, and I really love those movies, and I love all the movies that I mentioned, and I hope they help your specific situations. And if they don't, let me know, and if you liked this idea, please let me know too, because I'll make another video like this, because it's actually really fun. I really enjoy recommending movies, and I don't know if I'm really good at it, and I know some of the movies here are very generic, but that's fine. It suits the situations, and it suits the needs of the situations. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. 96% of you are not subscribed. That is crazy. Please, please, please. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Whew, I am tired. I'm warm.